Hey everyone, in this video we'll look at how to set up weapon position and IK for custom characters so that they hold the weapon properly in the shooter system. So we are in the demo scene of the shooter system, and if I run the game and pick up a weapon, you can see that the IK and weapon position is correct for this character, and this character is holding and aiming the gun properly, right? But the problem is when we try to use custom characters, the weapon position that works for this character might not work for the new one, right? The reason for that is because different characters can have different bone orientation and all that. So we have built editor tools to simplify the process of setting weapon position and IK. So let's look at how to use that. So first, I'll add a custom character so that you can see the issue. So I'll just disable this character and I'll go to the FS Systems window and in setup, I'll drag and drop a different character for the player. So I got this character from this free asset in Asset Store. All right. So in here, I'll check shooter and locomotion and I'll hit on setup. Okay. That'll create the player for us. Let me just bring him over here. All right. And now if you run the game, you can see that this character is not holding the weapon correctly. Right. So that is because the orientation of the hands of this character is different from our default character. So we can set the position and IK for this weapon by using our editor tool. So first I'll go ahead and set the position of the gun correctly. So for that, I'll open the item equip and attachment setup window. All right. So this is inside FS tools and not shooter system because this can also be used for our other assets like the melee combat system. All right. So after opening this window, I'll select the weapon. All right. And make sure to select the parent object and not any child objects inside the gun. Right. And I'll adjust its position and rotation so that it feels like the player is holding the gun. All right. I'm not trying to be perfect here since I don't want to make the tutorial too long. We can look at the weapon from different angles. All right, and I'll just try to align the finger with the trigger. All right, that looks okay. We don't have to make the left hand perfect right now because we can fine tune it from the IK settings. All right. So once you find a position that works, you can go ahead and click on the Save Weapon Holding Data button. So here you also have another option. You can check the Save as Default checkbox. So if that is checked, then this position will be set as the default position for this gun. And otherwise, if it's not checked, then this weapon position will only be saved for this specific character. All right. So in this case, I don't want to make it default because if I change the default value, then it won't work for our default character, right? Since both of them have different bone alignment. So I want this position to only be saved for this character. So I'll click on the Save Weapon Holding Data button without checking the Save as Default. All right. So you can see that the data has been saved for this weapon. Okay. So now if we start the game, the player should hold the weapon properly from the start. All right. So this is not perfect. We can fine tune this by adjusting the IK settings. All right. So let's look at how to do that. So to adjust IK settings, I'll open up the IK setup editor window. So this will ask us to select the character for which we want to set the IK. All right. And once we select the character, we can click on Start Setup, and this will give us two control spheres like this, which we can use to adjust the IK. All right. So this is for the right hand, and I can just move it, and the position will be adjusted accordingly. All right. So let's adjust the left hand because the rotation of the left hand seems incorrect. So I'll select it and I'll rotate it. All right. And let me bring it over here. Okay, that looks fine. Again, I'm not trying to make it perfect here since I don't want the tutorial to be too long. And now we can go ahead and save this IK data. So to save it, I'll press on Save Idle IK. All right. Again, I don't want to check the Save as Default checkbox because I want to save it specifically for this character. So we have set up the IK for idle. So next, let's set it up for aiming. So I'll click on the aim button, and the aiming is kind of like messed up right now. So let me try to adjust it. So from this pose, I'll just click outside the game window to pause it over here, and then we can adjust the IK accordingly. Okay, we can also adjust the left hand. And I'll try to bring it a bit more forward. All right. And now we can save the AMIK, and we can also try it from the game window and see how it looks. Okay. So we'll have to rotate the gun a bit because at the lowest point, the left arm won't reach the gun because it's too far. Okay. So we can try adjusting the position a bit towards the center. All right, now that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, you can go ahead and spend a lot more time here and try to get it perfect. If all your characters have same rig, then you'll only have to do this once. But if you're using characters from different artists, and if the characters have different bone orientation, then you'll have to do it for those characters. All right, so I'll stop the video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.